So today I thought it would be fun to look at some stereotypes us non-Americans have about Americans and give my input onto the whole situation. The last time I did a video talking about American stereotypes was in 2018. Where does the time go? Also, I'm not counting 2020 toward our years because, I mean, this year is just, let's just call it a wash. Since then, I've been to America a lot and have some different ideas and stuff. Now, before I get into it, it's important to say that we're talking in generalizations. Some chads out there think that I'm not aware that every state has different types of people and all people are unique individual snowflakes.
We're not a beautiful or unique snowflake.
We're talking in general. The fact of the matter is, there are stereotypes that exist and generalizations, and some of them are true and some of them aren't. And that's why we have these videos, to look at them and talk about them and have a dialogue. For example, there's the obvious stereotype that all Irish people are drunks and drink all the live long day. The fact of the matter is, I am not a person who drinks every day or even every week. Sometimes I can go months without drinking. However, it is a broad generalization that happens to be true. Irish people do have drinking as part of our culture. That's a stereotype. And so you could say that is a generalization about Ireland. Ta-da! As always, my subscriber curses are now taken from comments, and I thought this one was particularly awful. Please subscribe, because if you don't, there's a good chance the next time you go to make cereal, you'll pour your milk on, and it'll have curdled. It'll be sour and gippy and ew. And isn't that off-putting with cereal? Spoiling the things you love. On with the video. As ever, I'm taking these from Reddit, and the first one we have here is that people in America can be poor too. This person's family is from Ethiopia. I have not been to Ethiopia, so I can't comment on it, but I must say I was very surprised when I went to America and I saw the extent of poverty over there. In Ireland, we also have a homeless crisis, and it's something we're trying to alleviate. Somebody who knows a lot about this actually is my friend Paul. He works in a hostel in Dublin. I find in Ireland there are resources available for people. Of course, no system is perfect. There's always problems everywhere. But the first time I went to America and I ended up on Skid Row, I was pretty floored by what I saw because I'd never seen the likes in Ireland. And then I went to San Francisco and I saw the homeless people on the street there. And it broke my heart because I'd never actually seen people who are in the situation of being homeless looking so completely despondent and without any resources whatsoever. And I know there's alcohol and addiction problems that tie in with this, but just overall my observation was that it was so strange because people looked like they just stepped out of a film where they had been dressed to be homeless. Our homeless people just don't really look that way, I suppose. And obviously it's something each state and city is trying to address, but was I shocked? Yes, I was. The next one is that high school kids, gotta be careful here. I've been getting demonetized left, right, and center. High school kids have a lot less, let's say, biscuits.
Nobody told me it was uncrackable.
Than shown in the movies. Yes, every film that features American high schools seems to center around the topic of biscuits. And from the perspective of an Irish person, it definitely seems to me that American students, if what's happening in films is led to be believed, have a lot more biscuits than Irish students. To be honest, I wouldn't really know directly about this as I've never gone to school in America. Let me know below in the comments your views on American biscuits. The next one says that Americans in America are so much nicer than tourist Americans. Ooh. I don't know if this is really fair to say. I mean, American tourists, when they leave America, are going to be as wide-eyed as we Europeans are when we leave Europe, or indeed our own country. Everything's new when you leave your country. It's exciting, so I don't know about them saying that they're not nice. My encounters with American tourists have always been that they're nice. Sometimes loud, but nice. I have found a different vibe of Americans in America than I've had of American tourists, because obviously people, when they're in the place that they live, are just more relaxed and more comfortable. That's fair enough. When I'm a duck out of water, you can see I'm wide-eyed and what the hell is happening as well. So fair enough. Oh, the next one says American men normally aren't as hot as American TV drama stars. I mean,
only attractive people can be on television.
okay, I'm going to address American men and American women here because obviously the things you put on TV are going to be more polished and shiny and perfect than they are in real life. And talking as a person who works in the TV and film industry in Ireland, I can definitely say we favour a more natural look here. In Ireland, the people that end up on TV do not have to be good looking. They can be a bit rough around the edges. It's totally fine. That's kind of just not what our stuff centers around. And of course, lots of American TV shows feature people who are less than perfect looking too. I definitely wouldn't say that I found American people to be less good looking than people on TV, because TV isn't real. Maybe I'm the wrong person to ask about this. Maybe I'm too aware of what goes on in productions, but if that surprised somebody, good luck to them. I've actually heard it said about people in Ireland that there are a lot of 10s and 1s and not many in betweens. And I'm just like, does that make sense to anybody else out there? It doesn't make sense to me. Also, rating people on a number scale is just ew. This next one is from a Canadian. Ooh, interesting. First time I flew out of an American airport, I expected the worst from the TSA. Turned out they're basically the same as all airport security I've encountered. Interesting. That makes me wonder a little bit about Canadian TSA. That's security agents in the airport. Honestly, my experience of the American TSA has been quite negative. I've mentioned before that I'm always picked out for a bag search or a pat down or whatever, and you guys always have some funny comments about that, but it hasn't exclusively been just in America or just in Ireland. It happens to me everywhere. And no, they don't pick you out because they think you're attractive. I don't think that's how it works. I think they just pick you out because you meet a certain quota of people that they have to pick out. Or maybe I look sketchy as but I have to say that my experience with the security agents in the American airports has been that they are very, very rude, but they probably have to deal with a lot more shiz than, for example, in Ireland or Spain. But I feel like I was very much treated like a bad person going through security in America every time. I just don't like it. It's a funny thing. The attitude is very different. They treat you like you've done something bad, even though you haven't. That's just my subjective opinion. But yeah, no, I disagree with that person. The next one says that they genuinely thought that my wife and I were like the academic exception and that basically everyone was cowboys. Yeah, that's funny actually, because when you picture an American person, you obviously have the picture of an American tourist with the t-shirt and the camera and the baseball cap, but then your second thing, if you try and picture an American person, is probably a cowboy. When I went to Texas, I saw a lot of cowboys, but they weren't everywhere. It was novel to see them, however. And I got to dress up like a cowboy, kind of. Not very well, I tried. It was cool.
Would you believe I was actually a cowgirl? Okay.
The next one says, not everyone is fat. A lot of fat people, but less than I thought. The fact of the matter is, no, not everybody in America is fat. However, there is an obesity crisis there that is only beginning to exist in countries like Ireland and in the UK and throughout the rest of Europe. So seeing people in that extreme end of morbid obesity is quite shocking to an outsider. The first time you see that, obviously you're not gonna stare, but it's like when you see anything new, it's surprising to you. And your thought process just goes to, how does somebody get in that situation? There are obviously medical reasons and stuff, but there are also a lot of things going on in society, like the fact that you have amazing food. I've said it before, if I lived in America, I would hardcore be at least a 2 stone heavier because your food is so good. But yes, to clarify, not everyone is fat, it's more the exception, but seeing people at that extreme end is surprising to an outsider. The next one says, TV Americans are moronic and sheep-like. Real Americans are individuals with wildly varying views, and at least down the west coast where I've travelled, super friendly and cool. Honestly, I have to say with absolute sincerity, the Americans that I've met are extremely cool. Of course there are bad people, but there are bad people everywhere. It just happens that there are a lot more people in America than there are, for example, in Ireland. So there are going to be more bad people, and the bad people are going to try and outbad the bad people, and then the bad people are going to be really bad people. That's just my theory. But yeah, there is really negative stereotypes about Americans in terms of their intellect, and I have to say, for the most part, they are not true. The people who are really dumb do stand out though, because obviously you're going to remember really stupid comments. Actually, that might be something I look at later in the week, some of the craziest things that I've heard. Let me know below in comments if you want to hear that. There are some wild things. The next one says, foreign students thought that people in LA run into celebrities all the time. Yeah. To be honest, I was very disappointed the 2 times that I've been to LA that I didn't bump into more celebrities. Or any celebrities. I saw people with sunglasses and baseball caps on, and I had a hunch that those were famous people, but I wasn't too sure. I was disappointed not to get to meet a celebrity. I even went and walked around Beverly Hills the first time I was there, and I saw nobody, not a single soul. Yeah, LA just has regular people in it too. Regular people with dreams. And the number one thing is that fast food restaurants like McDonald's and KFC are considered low class. Ooh, this one's interesting because I definitely have said before that the food tastes different in McDonald's Ireland and McDonald's America. In Ireland, the quality of the food is a lot better in chain restaurants like McDonald's. Can't speak for KFC. I don't like KFC. It's just too greasy. Unpopular opinion. But I have found that when I've gone into restaurants like McDonald's or Burger King when I've been in America, that the vibe has been really different. In a way, they feel a bit more like they're on a par with like a local small greasy spoon. They are also not as sanitary in America, in my opinion. I've found the couple of times that I've been to them. I think maybe in Ireland that when they came over here there was a bit more pomp and ceremony about how great it was to have these famous fast food chains, and the idea of that's maybe remained there a bit. But yeah, some controversial kind of ones today. Let me know below in the comments your thoughts about stereotypes that we might have about you and whether you think they're true or not. Today's video goes out to a couple of Patreons. Do you want to do this?
Yes, I do. The first one is Jim Weed's grandson, Aiden. He recently celebrated his 16th birthday and he bought himself a helmet for some unknown reason to his granddad. This is a picture of him with his helmet on. Doesn't he look happy? You can tell by his smile. Happy birthday, Aiden, and thank you so much, Jim Weed. The next shout out goes to Curtis Watkins, who wants to say to Kathy Allen, thank you for being his work wife for the past 2 years. Someone he has looked up to. He also says congratulations on 25 years in combat and he wishes you the best in your new administrative role. Oh, thank you, Curtis, and well done, Kathy. Back to you in the past, Mommy.
Thank you, Chewy. It's amazing how you can travel through time. That's it for today. I'll see you on the other side. Bye. The last time I did a video, but yeah, let me know. But yeah, so yeah, every second but it's very much treated, but you're very much treated like, but I feel like in Ireland they don't seem to favour putting people on TV. In Ireland they don't seem to have a stand. In Ireland, the people that Chewy snoring right now. I hope the mic doesn't pick that up. Chad, I'm talking to you.